What about in terms of the self-awareness for individuals in their career path? Let's get on, we've talked a little bit about yourself,
Yeah,
about
sure.
myself.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
about
yeah,
for the individual out there that you're dealing with? I've actually got a story, but I'm going to, throw it over to you at first, Tony,
yeah.
just to really reflect on, that idea of self-awareness and about people being in a career that really isn't for them.
Yeah, sure. So I go through a process, and the process that I do, it's called Ikigai. It's not my process. It's a Japanese process, and it's all about reason for being. And so it's four intersecting circles. One is what do you love? One is what are you good at? One is what does the world need? And the fourth is what can you get rewarded for? And so that's the process. The other thing, the subset of that process, is to focus on the passion side, which is the intersection between what are you good at and what do you love. You can then start to ask yourself, four questions. What do you love? What are you good at? What do you love? What are you not good at? What are you good at? What do you love? And what are you not good at? And what do you not? What do you not love? Now I've got some paperwork on that. I'm happy to, if people reach out to me, I'm happy to share that with them. My point is, again, whether you sit there and think about it, whether you sit there and write about it, whether you sit there and talk about it, you go through that exercise. Whether you're in a career, in your own business, whatever it is, you have to start to work through these processes to start to understand what is it that I'm good at, what is it that I'd love to be able to do, and then you start to work from there.
I think I'm just constantly assessing these for myself on a daily basis. And, going to
Mm,
Rob's course yesterday about property development, just to give him a little bit of a
mm,
plug, and
mm.
yourself, we love a
Yes,
plug here
yes,
and
thank you.
there.
Yes,
And
yes.
it was
We
actually,
only got 25 minutes today, but haven't
that's
we?
right. Yeah, no plugs today. Absolutely. No, I actually told everyone, I was like, I'm not a developer. I'm very much similar like you, Tony. I'm just like, development is
Mm,
not
mm.
really my essence of truly who I am. But, it could be something
Correct.
that I'm involved in future, not to the extent of being,
Yeah.
super involved and encapsulated within the development space and running a development from
Mm,
start
mm,
to
mm,
finish,
mm.
but being a higher level
Yes.
thinker around the development space. And I can see that my self-awareness in that. But to reflect back on that self-awareness about people's career, I actually spoke to someone
Yep.
yesterday that was at the event, and they were actually a property buyers agent, just recently done the course and actually got involved, and they're
Yep.
really struggling with it. And I've actually
Yep.
go, well, what's worked for you in the past? And they've done some
Mm,
renovations and made lots of money through property and really enjoyed it. And you could see their
mm,
eyes light up
mm,
when they're saying these
mm,
things. And you
mm,
know all about this, Tony. You coach a lot of people.
mm,
But
mm,
when you see
mm,
their
mm,
eyes light
mm,
up and you just go, why aren't you
mm.
doing that? Why are you trying to
That's
be a
it.
property
That
buyer's agent? And you've done this education course because what they're looking for is the money, the quick win. And
correct.
we see this day in, day out of people not really following
Yep.
their path. I actually said to this person, I go, well, maybe you can actually do the renovations and whatever, work with other people to do it. Then they started reflecting on,
Mm,
oh, I know a street, I know some off-market sales right now that I can actually pinpoint right now. And I'm like, well, go
mm.
ahead and do it. And maybe you can use the buyer's agency arm or something else as another effect as you grow that business. Layer them up.
Of course.
So what do you think about that?
Multiple streams. Yeah, multiple streams of income. Steve Jobs talks about when you love what you do, you'll never work again in your life, and it's all about love. And you were talking to someone, you saw a little sparkle in their eye, and so I suppose the challenge is those people mightn't be seeing that sparkle, and that's where it's great when you're having a chat to someone, and whether it be a paid coach like me, whether it just be an accountability or a friend or someone to share with like yourself, it's a case of saying back to that person, hey, here's what I see. You're telling me one thing, but I'm seeing you light up, I'm seeing you smile, I'm seeing this facial expression when you talk about renovations. And so that's about listening to yourself. I have a saying, which is, may your shoes follow your heart. And again, it's all about working out what is it that you love to do. You have to really sit with this process and work out what is it that you love to do. So many people, Luke, as you said, chase the dollar. But
Mm,
here's the thing. When you actually do what you love doing, you get up early, you work late, you put in effort, you constantly surround yourself with those sorts of people. And
the
here's what
dollars
comes from
come.
that. The dollars
The
come.
dollars
Whereas
come.
people want to do the dollar first, they want the dollar first, and I'm going to grind my way through this thing.
Mate,
I don't even like what I'm doing,
mate, there's some
but
super
I'm going to
quotes
do
in
it
there.
because,
There's some super quotes in there that we've just
oh, there normally
explored.
is.
Normally is. Hi to Matthew, Clinton, Mark, Glenn, Natalie. Mum's obviously on. Courtney
G'day,
came
guys.
in earlier.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
So we talked about that self-awareness. I think that's a really good
Mm,
topic. I think on top of that, to layer that above that is not
mm,
only, I guess, what lights you up, but it can be another layer within that. And maybe, Tony, you can explore this a little, but what's
mm,
really true to you? What are your strengths? You know, what do you really love, that passion to do? And what is, you know, again, it goes a little bit around self-awareness and the career path and what lights you up, but what is really true to you? I think it's a different level. I don't know if you can explore that a little bit, or you feel like it's very similar.
No, what's what I was talking about. It's around the Ikigai process. What is it that you love? But quite often, people struggle with what it is that they want. They struggle with those things, but they can easily tell you what they don't want. And so that's why then I've said there's that additional layer to Ikigai, which is then, and again, I'll put it up in the notes, the show notes, but it's all around working out, you know, what is it that you don't love and that you're not good at? You know, and so that's where, rather than trying to think, what is it I'm going to be and what's my future look like, what's my purpose, here's what I know. I know that I don't want to do that. So here's a great thing. Through a process of elimination, put a line through that. That's off the list. Now let's start to get closer. And so, again, this isn't going to take 10 minutes or an hour. Like if you're sitting there and going, oh, well, Tony said to do this, and by lunchtime today, I'm going to have it all sorted, my direction's going to be clear, and here's the thing. You're kidding yourself. It's not going to happen, but you want to start, right? Just like Luke and I started, you want to start and you want to work towards something. And then along the way, I wanted to be a property developer. When I first started, come hell or high water, I was going to be a property developer. And I got about 12 months into it and I went, it's kind of not what I really want to do. I can see the vehicle, what it can do for me financially, but it's not really what I want to do, and I headed in a different direction. And so that's the other thing. You're going to start something and be, you know, open, listen to yourself and go, you know what, maybe this isn't what I want to do, but here's the thing. People don't start because they're worried that if I go down that path and I tell people I'm going to be test and try, but also I'm worried that if I get started and I tell people I'm going to be a property developer, I can't possibly change in 12 months' time because I said I was going to do this, and then people are going to criticize me and say, but you're chopping and changing all the time. I would say be open to that, and I would say ignore those sorts of people. And then, like you said, treat it like a buffet. Treat it like a buffet. So, for example, my young fellow at school holidays here in Queensland, and next week he's going to my brother-in-law's company. He's got a very big company, and he's going to be doing some stuff in IT. And I said to him, I don't know if you're going to like it or not like it. He thinks he's going to like it, but I said, one way or another, we're going to rule it in or rule it out, and he's going to do it for a week and he's going to try it. And so, you know, that's the same thing. It's like, you know, rather than, say, getting invested in property development, go to some meetups, talk to property developers. Hey, what is it that you like, property developer? What don't you like? What's the good about property development? What's the bad about property development? And ask plenty of people. So rather than handing over any money, you simply surround yourself with those people. If you want to get into buyer's agency, hey, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What's good? What's bad? What's challenging? All those types of things. You start to formulate in your mind, you know, I know, you know, for you guys, having worked with you, working through there's plenty of positives, but there's plenty of challenges, just like any small business. You need to sit and ask yourself, are you prepared to work through the challenges? Because they're going to be there, whether it's property development, buyer's agency, small business, franchising, whatever it is, they're going to be there. You just need to get clear on it at the start. It's still not going to be 100% because until you actually do something, you're not going to fully realise. But boy, if you can get around, network, get onto meetup.com, find groups around you where you can speak to people who are potentially in the field that you like to go down and ask those sorts of questions.